All right, we are on. Okay, cool. So, yeah, let's go for it. So, Mariah posted hers first. So, hers. Wait, can we all say it at the same time?
Sure. Who do you think I am?
You're the main character. You're Bod.
Yeah.
Hey.
Okay.
Next one I posted. Did you guys read it?
Yeah, I'm opening it there. Right here.
What do you think, Rose?
We don't need to read all the answers, right?
No.
Okay.
Is it Mrs. Owens?
Yes.
Oh.
I had no idea. Like, who are your favorite heroines of fiction? I was like, I don't know.
No. Like,
I just pretend weird. She didn't know.
Cool.
My answer for that was, I'm not quite sure. I've never thought about that before. Oh well. Okay, next one is Jimmy.
Yeah.
Okay, I can guess this one. Silas.
That's right.
Woohoo.
Okay, and Rose was the bad guy Jack.
Yeah.
That's so funny. Like, I don't know. Like, I think that is a question. That is an answer for this question. Who are your favorite heroines or heroes in your real life? That answer, the Trump.
Trump and Thanos and Avengers.
That was good.
That's just the first thing that comes to mind. That's why I'm like, I think this is the right one for it.
That was good.
I did not even realize that.
You have to point it out.
I see like the Trump like
killing. I was like, oh, killing, obviously. That's so funny. I didn't even realize that. Okay, cool.
That was good. It works.
It works.
Awesome. So,
yeah.
And the questions. Let's go through the questions.
Yeah.
Oh, let's figure out who wants to submit it.
Oh, right.
Okay, so I did the first book. Rose did the second book.
Okay, I can do one.
Okay, cool. Have you done one before, though, Mariah?
Yeah, I did one in my other group, but that's okay. I can do this one.
Okay, I'll do the next one. Thanks, Mariah. Okay.
Yeah,
thank you, Mariah.
So, what made the characters seem different from each other before doing the exercise? Okay.
During the exercise?
The exercise.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, the
exercise means the answer for questionnaire, right?
Wait, I thought the exercise was the questionnaire.
Questionnaire.
Yeah. Okay, cool.
Right.
Okay, so what made the characters seem different from each other before doing the exercise?
What does that mean?
Oh, like before you did it, what differentiated the characters? I don't know. So in my mind, it was kind of like time period was the biggest thing. There's where their cultural background came from, because you had like a Roman, and then you had the people who were like, I'm assuming this is based in the United States. So like all the people in the United States and like everything that they went through and felt, and Revolutionary Wars, and so just like time periods was the biggest thing for me.
Yeah.
Yes. And then there's the fact that some are alive and some are like dead. And then there are different kind of dead people too. I didn't know that, but then the book said so.
Yeah, status is different, so we can recognize it. Also, like that, their figures and that there's personality, or
The
and
personality.
like when you see all the history, what they did, like is it easy to help to recognize this character they did blah 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 something like that. So
Yeah. I thought it was interesting, you know, the part in the book where it's like kind of randomly in there, but like this Victorian girl is like dating this other guy and they like
Right.
walk around the graveyard together. It's just interesting because they are from different time periods, but they like met in the afterlife. I thought that was kind of cute.
that's right.
But yeah, I agree with that. Like if they're dead or alive, or if like the time period that they were alive in like really made them different. Yes. Okay.
Cool.
What makes them similar?
After doing
I
this,
think their personalities make them similar.
yeah, the Silas
Yeah.
in the couple's Owen. Both of them like they tried to help the Todd, right? The main character.
Mm-hmm.
If you answer the question as Silas or the Owen couple Owens, I think we can be like a little bit confused between that. So but I don't know. Another characters it's pretty much really clear their figures. Yeah.
I think they're similar in a way that they're like, you know, in either a bad way or a good way. They're all like kind of, they know nobody, like they know him. It's either through good intentions or bad ones, but they all know him. Like
Right.
God is in the middle of, and they're all around him. So I guess that's how they're all similar. Like they all know him and they interact with him, but all for different reasons.
Cool.
Yeah. I would say the same kind of thing. Like they're all motivated kind of by the same thing, like to make sure that Bod is kept safe. And I don't know if they have like necessarily a goal, but just maintaining the graveyard in like a state of peace. Like none of them seem super interested in like going outside the graveyard or in trying to create
it's like their own community of like dead people. Yeah.
Yeah. They like respect each other and understand that like peace and harmony is kind of what needs to happen, and there's kind of like live and let live. And
yeah, that's so true. They just have that same goal of like, and they all know who Bod is. Like, even the ones that aren't necessarily taking care of him in that part of the graveyard, but like all the graveyards, even like close to them, like they know who he is. And I think they even have that goal to like protect the live child.
I know.
Okay, next question. Were there any characters who simply cannot be mistaken for anyone else in the text, no matter how craftily you disguise their answers? What makes these characters unique? What are their roles in the novel? Did this tend to happen with major or minor characters?
Jack.
I feel like Jack is like, he's like really evil.
I mean, he's the only one that's alive and so evil with his intentions about God. Like the others, the other Gauls don't want him dead. They just want to change him. So there's a lot of difference. But I think it's only Jack who wants him dead.
Yeah, I feel like the goals, if like one of them was a questionnaire, I wouldn't have guessed it. Just because they're like all really similar characters.
Yeah.
But yeah, like Jack is like super evil.
And
could not be mistaken. I don't know. I think Silas as well, just because like he is similar to the others in his like love and protection for Bod, but at the same time, like you know that it's Silas kind of thing. Like he lives number one in a different like realm than they do because he's not dead or alive.
Right.
Yeah,
But
that's so crazy.
Yeah, he's in the middle, right? It's
Yeah.
really hard to find out like what is the guy? I really hard to figure out this
I
guy
think
like
he's a vampire.
right?
Mm-hmm.
That's why he can travel.
Yeah, and so like not only that sets him apart, but also just like in the text it says
Uh-huh.
Bog talks about how he goes to Silas for help because Silas explains it differently than the rest of the ghosts in the graveyard. Like he actually explains it clearly and can understand and can help Bog understand. And so like that sets him apart. He's,
Yeah,
like, on a
I feel like Silas understands him too because he like travels outside and he like knows what's going on in the real world. I feel like in the graveyard, like they're still stuck in their time period. They have no idea what's going on.
Sure.
That's right. Okay. Next question.
Oh, okay. Sorry, it like paused. I don't know. Okay. Did you say everything you wanted to, Mariah?
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay, cool. So, what characters were most frequently mistaken for each other? Why do you think these confusions happened? Do they tend to happen between characters you already associated with each other, or between those who have to have a little in common at first glance? What does this confusion reveal? So, we kind of talked about the goals, but I feel like maybe Silas and Jack at the beginning, like the first question was, "What's your biggest regret?" And it's like that I was like a really bad person before, like almost as bad as Jack, right? I mean, as like more bad than Jack, and I feel like that had a commonality with Jack, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, it's Silas is too. Like he's basically a vampire. So like he mentioned that chapter 6 or 7, he mentioned that like I was a worse than Jack. So I really figured out like when I was a monster. So like yeah, I think that is the main point, that character.
I feel like it's gonna be Silas and the new lady that you appointed to be Bot's new party.
Oh yeah.
Which one?
Mr. Biscu or something.
Oh,
yeah.
the teacher who the different language like how.
I guess
it's like a hellhound.
Yeah, because they serve the same purpose to Bot, like trying to hate him and like teach him stuff from outside of the graveyard, stuff like that. Like feed him. They're the only ones that bring him food too, and so I guess I could mistaken them.
They're kind of like, well, they're the guardians. They're kind of the caretakers. Like I feel like they took care of Bod more than his parents did.
I know the story mentioned the parents taking care of him, just the beginning, and then
and I was like, oh, where are his parents? And then when like Bod left, I mean after Silas left, and then also the other caregiver left, like the guardian, then like the parents were like talking to Josiah, and they were like, well, he promised he would like take care of our son, like he promised. And I was like, wait, can't like you take, but they can't because they can't get food for him.
Right.
So
I guess
or like teach him about
out of the graveyard.
So I feel like that's
I think another one. Sorry, I'm just like typing stuff up at the same time, so I'm trying to keep up on.
Oh no, good. That way you can finish.
I think another one actually that just kind of came to mind was Scarlet and Mo, which I know seems weird, and like initially, I don't think they're at all similar, right? But at the end, they draw a lot more similarities to me. Like Scarlet isn't able to see
Oh, right.
like the good that's in Mo because she's distracted by like his supernatural powers or whatever kind of thing, and this or the good in Bode because she's distracted. And the
Right.
same thing happens with Mo. Like she is initially just like she doesn't like Bode because he's different and because he has like these supernatural gifts and blah blah blah. And like I think that Scarlet kind of takes on that same ideology by the end of it, that because Bode is different, he's bad. And she like doesn't have the maturity to understand what.
I hated how that ended. I really wanted them to be together or something.
I know. I was like, that's the worst
I was
ending.
like, wait, why can't you? He like literally got rid of everybody bad, and you like can't accept it. Like that was so lame. He tried to kill. Yeah, I don't know. I'm just like, I agree with that. I feel like if you filled out a paper for Scarlet, we might have said it was Mo, kind of thing. Yeah.
This makes
I
sense.
feel like they have very similar, way of thinking. What an interesting thought, Mariah.
Good point.
Yes. I'm afraid. Are we gonna make it 30 minutes? I feel like we're blowing.
I don't think so.
Okay.
Already-
We'll just no. Like I don't know what else to say. But the last one is consider the similarities between the characters of the Graveyard Book and the characters of the Jungle Book. Which characters from Neil Gaiman's book represents characters from Rudyard Kipling's book? What differences do you see between the characters? What do these similarities and differences tell you about the Gaiman's intended message? So in the Jungle Book and the Graveyard Book, I guess they do have the same kind of purpose. Like the Jungle Book, everyone's trying to take care of Mowgli, right? And then the Graveyard Book. And they raise him like Mowgli is like an animal. But but he can't ever be an animal.
Right.
In a sense. But in the Graveyard Book, it's the same because he's being raised by dead people, but he can never be a dead person.
Right.
Even if he's like, oh, I'd be fine dying. And like Silas is like, no, then you will lose all your potential. But like, yeah.
Yeah. And you know how like Mowgli started like crawling, like he can hardly stand on 2 feet and walk like normal people, but he would crawl. And then like Bud, he can see in the dark, and he's hardly afraid of anything in the dark because I guess he's used to it. I mean, the graveyard.
And he's also accepted into the graveyard, which means he can like move through walls and stuff.
Oh yeah, that's why.
Right, because he has like those special powers.
Yeah, he was given full access to the graveyard.
Interesting.
What did you say on the last one? Mowgli, sorry, you were talking about how Bode has like the freedom of the graveyard, and what was the comparison with Mowgli? How he like walks on his hands and kind of. Okay.
Because he kind of like acts like an animal, just like Bode does with
Okay.
Because later too, like the Balds, in the almost end of the chapter, like he couldn't see, he natural powers like kind of getting gone, so like he couldn't see anymore as if that person were he can't see anymore in the darkness, so something like that. Also like in the Jungle Book, also the main character, he tried getting to more the human than like animal, you know.
Yeah.
Sure, and at the end, he's married off and then stays human.
It pretty much is the same like setting though, yeah.
And then you could also like do the comparison between the snake and what's his face, or I guess it would be the tiger more. The tiger and Jack, how they both just like want to kill Mowgli.
Oh yeah.
I forget, why does the tiger want to kill Mowgli?
I don't remember. It's been so long.
Yeah,
Let me
he was
Google
trying
it.
to attack him, like, because he was favored by almost everyone in the jungle.
But wasn't it something to do with like Mowgli's family like burned down the forest or something?
So here is the Wikipedia.
Uh-huh.
Oh wait. Okay, hold on. Jungle Book Chapter 5 Shmoop. Okay. I don't know. Is it because the parents
Like I thought
like
it was
ruined
like a reason. Yeah. Because I'm just thinking like that would either set Jack and the tiger apart or it would make them like the same person, right? Because Jack wants to kill Toad because he like threatens his like brotherhood or whatever.
right.
And
But
so I was
actually, in the end, he wouldn't threaten the Brotherhood anymore. And he was like, I don't threaten it because I killed everyone in the Brotherhood. So, like, it doesn't threaten it. You're just by yourself. And he's like, I just want to kill you.
Oh, Shere Khan, that's his name.
Yeah.
Hate Mowgli. Yeah, it just says, upon scenting Mowgli, he threatens to kill him as man is not allowed to live in the jungle.
Mm-hmm.
This causes Akela and his wolf pack to debate whether to have Mowgli leave. When Mowgli leaves the wolf pack with Bagheera, Shere Khan ambushes him en route and fights with Bagheera. So the only reason why he wants to kill him is because man doesn't belong in the jungle, is what Wikipedia says.
Gotcha. Okay. So I guess that would like kind of set them apart as well because despite Jack's intentions, like obviously his motivations weren't super good, but he like actually had a reason. Like
Right.
He just killed them just to kill them. He killed them because he was like, hey, you're like threatening my reign because of like prophecy or whatever. So I guess
Right,
that's like
but the other guy is like racist.
Yeah.
The tiger is racist against humans.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that is a difference. So what do you think the intended message was of the Graveyard Book?
You talking about them or my message?
You know,
Yeah, what do you think?
How the gray lady came in, she was like, the dead needs to have charity too, or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
The dead needs to have what? Charity, like pure love of Christ. I think she said something like charity.
Yeah, she did.
Yeah, she did.
Yeah.
So I guess, like, you know how they take him in. He's a stranger, and it's hard for them to look after him, but still they take him in, despite all the difficulties they know they would face while taking care of him. They still take him in because they know no one's gonna take care of him because the parents are dead. The mom came and asked the Owens to take care of the baby,
Mm-hmm.
So I guess that's like a pure love of Christ.
Yeah, it's on this page. I don't know. On my Kindle, it's page 30.
Mm-hmm.
She said the dead should have charity.
Yeah, and then that's when like they all agreed and said, okay, so they all agreed to. Oh yeah, the dead should have charity.
Yeah. Wait, do you think that's like the main theme of the whole book?
I think one of the main theme like death, like the very beginning part, like it kind of horror like is really scared about like the Bald as a parents is killed by like Jack. But like later is we talking about like the authors try to give a message about afterlife. So pretty much similar with our church message, like that this earth's life is not end. The after this life, we have the afterlife, and even though you parents like passed away earlier, but like you can meet your parents, your family after this life. So I think teachers try to give us a whole message, kind of
about death.
Yeah, about that.
And like, yeah.
Cool. I think that's one of the messages, but I don't know if like I definitely agree with you. I think that's one of the messages, but there's this like, her question is like, what did the similarities and differences between like the Jungle Book and the Graveyard Book kind of tell you about the intended message? So kind of what came to mind for me was like the role that violence has in our lives kind of thing. And so I don't know, like obviously you see like acts of violence in both the Graveyard and the Jungle Book, and like on both sides of the equation too, like because not only is Jack violent, but like Bode has violent actions too, right? Like he ends up sentencing all the other Jacks basically to their deaths, and and so it just kind of made me think about how basically the author to me is trying to say that while violence obviously isn't like the first mode of action we could take, sometimes it's like necessary in order to protect like the moral of people. Like violent actions don't necessarily indicate the morale of a person. It's more based on like the intentions and the motivations that are behind those violent actions. So like you see it in Shere Khan and in Jack, how like they wanted to kill, but for their own,
for no reason. Like it was like
kind of thing, you know. Whereas like Bode and Mowgli, both of them end up killing like the antagonists at the end, but it's like number one to protect themselves and also to protect like those that they love. And so that was like, I think that was a big theme going through it. Like sometimes like violence or just like sometimes is necessary drastic actions to like protect the things in life that are good.
Right.
And it's interesting because like Scarlet didn't accept that. Even though it was like it had to have happened, like Scarlet still didn't accept. She thought that he was just as bad as Jack and the other Jack of all trades. That was really funny. But like he was like just as bad as like all of them. But in reality, it was necessary in order to move on, in order for her to be like saved. Yeah.
Sure.
That's a really, I feel like that could go so deep, like especially with like war and how like sometimes war really is necessary in order to like make peace, I guess. But like sometimes people just see war as like only evil, you know?
Yeah.
It can be constructive too.
That could go really.
I think others give it to option to you're gonna decide to good or evil. So when you compare like the Jungle Book and this Graveyard Book, give to the main characters, you can decide it it's gonna be good or just you can take the evil. So by like
I feel like one of the main themes was good versus evil, especially in like what Mariah was saying.
Right.
Like definitely.
I think that's,
Yeah, and I feel like that compares to the Jungle Book. I also think, I don't know, not discrimination, but like there's like another word I'm looking for. But like the fact that Mowgli was like a human living with animals, and then Bode is a lot like an alive person living with dead people, and like how, I don't know, it's just, I don't know how that's like a theme, but like
you're talking about community or
maybe community, because Yeah, like the dead people had their community,
Uh-huh.
and like just like the animals have their community, they have their jungle. But like when something from the outside comes in, like how that reacts to it, I guess.
Yeah, that's kind of also an interesting point because, I mean, if I were to read those books, I would basically take from it like if there's an outsider in your community, you can accept them, but they'll never truly be part of your community.
True.
So that's
Oh
kind of
my gosh.
yeah, and so it kind of goes
That's
against
so
like what
interesting.
women like to like I don't know, like I would like to think that if somebody came into my community, like I would accept them kind of thing.
But
But
like
at the
they
same
will never.
would I ever really accept them as like part of that
True. They're like so different, yeah.
yeah,
I
so
feel like, yeah, that's like kind of missionary. I don't know. Like I
Mhm.
served in Japan, and like I will never be Japanese, like because I'm white. You know what I mean? Like I will never be like I can be accepted by Japanese people, but I will never be Japanese. You know what I mean? Yeah.
That's right. That's right.
that's
And I feel like there was like some Americans that like grew up in Japan, but like
Mhm.
they spoke Japanese perfectly. Their whole life was like Japan, you know what I mean? But like
yeah.
they
Mhm.
weren't like fully accepted just because they are white. Yeah. I feel like it's like that too, like in America, like Mexicans or you know what I mean? Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
They will never be like, well, no, I feel like America's different because there's like it's like you are American, you know?
Yeah.
Right?
But it kind of makes me
You gotta
wonder
be
too, though,
just
'cause,
right
like
to be American.
yeah, you can look at it from that point of view, but then you can also take it into like from a family point of view, like how it comes up to like adoption or something like that, you know, like how does that play into it? Does it like I don't know. That was just kind of a thought that came into my head. Like if we are who we are and we're never actually part of like the culture that we infiltrated, then would those that are adopted ever really be part of the families that they infiltrated? Because like I have friends that are adopted and they think that they totally are kind of thing, you know, like they are 100% like part of that family.
Right.
So does it just depend on how like similar you are, I guess? Because in that case, like there's no drastic difference
Your
that sets them
actions.
apart.
Yeah.
Yeah, and just like
Oh.
what you want in life and your like the big thing that set Bone and that and the graveyard apart was the fact that like he's alive and they're dead, right? Like that's a huge thing.
Right.
With you, it was because you're white and they're Japanese, and that's like something you
Right.
can't change. So like in a family setting, would that still be there, or would that kind of be dissipated because like you're both human kind of thing and you have the same goals and general same background usually, you know?
Oh.
But I don't know.
That is like the question. And I feel like that's a huge theme because I feel like there's a quote in there that says like you are who you are.
Mhm.
And like you can change. Or something like that. You are I wish I could find it, but it's like I highlighted it, I think. But yeah. I feel like it's by Miss It or the mother, what's her name? Slaughter. Mother Slaughter. Okay. Sorry, maybe not. Oh, you're always you and that don't change and you're always changing and there's nothing you can do about it. Oh, well, maybe that doesn't really. But I feel like there's another one kind of like it, but yeah. It's on page 297. Yeah, you're always you something. but you can change. But there's nothing about it. Yeah, I feel like that's like a big theme in the book.
Mm.
All right, we made it to over 30 minutes, so good job, everyone.
Wow.
Didn't think we could do it, but we did.
Yeah, we did. Good job.
Okay, awesome.
Well, it was good to talk to you guys.
Okay.
Yeah, that was really good. I feel like that was really constructive.
Yeah, that was a good one.
Okay, cool. I'll talk to you guys next time.
Alrighty. You guys, don't forget to submit the URL.
Okay, yes. I'll send that to you.
So, yeah, you gotta send it to each of us. We have to submit it. The website, the YouTube website. No.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Did we
Just
just submit our
wait.
questionnaire?
I don't think.
Yeah,
so.
I just.
I don't think so. But
no.
Yeah, we just have to give it to each other before the call. Yeah.
Wait. Yes or no? Sorry.
No.
No.
Okay.
No.
So okay, cool. I won't submit it then. Sounds good.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Guys.
Thank you, guys.
Bye.